Welcome to Donna and Friends, and I've got Brent Thompson in the house. How you doing?
Doing good.
Doing good. Well, Brent, I invited you in today because it's the season. The season to elect or re-elect city commissioners here in the fair city of Cushing. So you're one of them. You have thrown your hat in the commissioner race.
Proverbial ring.
Yes, you have. So let's just start by learning a little bit about you, Brent. Now, how long have you been in the Cushing area?
I've been here just a touch over 5 years.
And the reason you came here, because you're known by a lot of people in town, is your position at the chamber.
Correct. That is very correct. I went to work on January 4th of 2010 as the executive director of the Cushing Chamber of Commerce and Industry.
And you just retired.
Just retired. End of December.
Now, did you just get bored in that short amount of time? What happened?
No, actually, it's been kind of a nice boring. But this is something that I have considered doing for some time, although in that position I couldn't do it. I mean, it wouldn't have been kosher. So when I retired, I thought, okay, you know, you've been saying you want to do it. If you do it, let's get up and get after it. So
now you have a wife and a daughter. Now, how does your wife feel about your decision?
She and I sat down and talked about it, and she's fine with it. You know, not being from this country, I mean, she hasn't even registered to vote, although she says she's going to now, and I'm going to make sure she does.
I hope so. Yeah.
But it's not, you know, it's not been something that's been real high on her
right.
List of things to do. But we talked about it quite a bit, and I've gotten her permission and good graces to follow through.
Well, excellent. So everybody's on board at home. Mm-hmm. So what really just made you decide to run? What is it about being a city commissioner that interested you enough to run?
Well, it wasn't so much about the position as it is the place I think we are in Cushing right now. I think we're on the cusp of being a community that is close to good growth. You know, we've probably missed a few years that we should have been growing, but in my opinion, and let me preface what I'm getting ready to say by also saying that I have really no problems with the past commission. I know because of where I've worked, I've gotten to know almost all of them fairly well, and I have a great deal of respect for them. But having said that, I felt like that the city commission, or city in general, was not doing enough, was not being aggressive enough in terms of helping and providing leadership to help us grow and prosper. And that's what I'd like to do.
So with that being said, what do you think you can bring to that table?
Well, you know, I've done chamber work for 38 years, and most all of that has dealt with businesses in a community, has dealt with quality of life, has dealt with issues that go on in a community in some fashion or another, particularly as it relates to business. And as a result, having been in as many communities as I have seen the positive side of good, positive leadership from a city, and I've seen some that's not been quite so positive. And I'm not trying to put Cushing necessarily in any of those categories, but I know what with strong leadership, with participation, what a city government can do for a community to help it grow and prosper.
Well, with that being said, what type of goals do you have for this community?
Well, I think we need stronger leadership in the area of housing. We need housing stock in this community, and I know that in some communities, Ponca City being one I can think of off the top of my head, has played a large role in helping build housing stock in their community. I think that's an area that we need. It's probably my priority. But other than that, I truly believe that this community needs to hire an economic community planner or community developer, one that is their specific duty and is paid accordingly. I think we ask way too much of our city manager to be city manager, city engineer, and our economic developer. Nothing against Steve Spears, but I think that's too many hats to wear, and something's going to get slighted. And in my opinion, economic development and job creation is what's gotten slighted.
Well, I think that's probably a pretty fair assessment, and there's probably a lot of people in this community that would agree with you. Now, you are, and I think we need to clarify, running for seat 2.
Correct.
Which Joe Manning has chose to not run again.
Right.
So the seat is open, and now we come in with another candidate, and that will be Jim Hogra. So let me ask, something that we've been doing, I think this is the 3rd year perhaps, for the Candidates Forum. Will you be participating in that forum? It'll be, I think we kind of have a tentative date of March 31st selected, but it's not confirmed yet, but it'll be in March.
Whenever it is, I intend to participate.
How important do you feel that the Candidates Forum is for the community?
Well, I think it's extremely important. It's a good way for this community to find out who the candidates are, what they stand for, what they might expect to have in the city council for the next at least 3 years, and whether or not they feel like that the issues that candidate is for or against is something that they want. So in terms of information about the leadership, and you know, when it comes to paying taxes, I think people need to be much better informed, much more knowledgeable of the issues and of the candidates. So I think it's a real good way for people to listen, to ask questions, and to get to know their candidates.
Well, I think it is too, and I think without that, we just don't have any kind of voice that we can hear or see from these candidates that are coming up for this election. Is there something else that you would like to throw in, that you have something personal that you want to throw into this that I haven't really touched on? I'm sure there's a lot.
Well, not real personal. You know, as I say, I've got no axe to grind with anybody. I'm not upset with anyone necessarily. I just personally feel like that Cushing is on the cusp of a new day, of new challenges, and I truly believe that we need to change our leadership style in City Hall. We need to be more in front of people. We need to be more open and transparent. And we need to be much more progressive in what we do as it relates to city business.
Absolutely. You know, recently we had a town hall meeting, the first one that we've had of a sorts, called Cushing Conversations. And Commissioner Brannon and Commissioner Amon were at that first town hall meeting. Would that be something that you would do with another commissioner should you be elected?
I thought, I give all the credit in the world to both commissioners. Commissioner Brannon and Commissioner Amon, I thought did a great justice to this community. I was pleased with the turnout, and I hope that has now opened some doors that our commissioners, whether I'm elected or not, will open it a little farther and continue that dialogue with our taxpayers.
Well, you know, we had about 35 people at that open meeting, and what I felt was most beneficial in that meeting was the fact that anyone could stand up and address any subject to the commissioners that they wanted. Are you open that way to where you would be able to take answers or questions and answer them on the spur like that with the community?
In time, once I kind of get my feet on the ground. Yeah, I think that's really what city government's supposed to be about. It's what government's supposed to be about. We are elected as city officials by the taxpayers. Should they have questions about anything that our city government or county government or state government does, we ought to be open to listen. It's imperative. Yes. That we take questions from
Absolutely.
From the public.
It's just like Senator Halligan and Lee Denny, Representative Lee Denny, at the legislative luncheons. Those are held just for that purpose,
exactly.
So that they are available and open to the public for any questions that they might have.
Exactly.
So, that's been very successful, and I know you know that because, you were over the chamber when that was going on. So this is just kind of an extension of that for our city government.
Yeah, it's kind of I guess a smaller version,
Right.
But nonetheless the concept is the same, and I think we ought to continue that.
Well, I appreciate you popping in and visiting with me, and the election itself is going to be held April 7th, so you'll probably be around and about town. And I'm sure lots of people will be asking questions of you until Election Day.
I would certainly like to have their questions. Anybody who wants to ask me, I live at 818 East Broadway. My phone number is 618-535-0126. Please get a hold of me.
All right, you've been watching Donna and Friends. Don't touch your dial.